Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel here today to discuss about AEW Rampage, October 22nd, 2021. And I will have to say some of the wrestling was pretty decent, especially the main event between Andrade El Idolo, if I pronounced the last name correctly. If I mispronounced it, I apologize, versus Pac. And a decent matchup, but the ending absolutely made no sense. I don't understand why Malachi Black was even involved in this scenario. What the hell did he show up and attack Pac in any capacity? It's not like Pac has any allegiance to Cody Rhodes, and nor does he have any ties with what's going on with Malachi Black in any capacity. So I didn't quite understand this at all. It just led to Cody Rhodes at the end of this show having a somewhat of an upper advantage, an advantage over Malachi Black going into their third match for tomorrow's Dynamite, which I will be reviewing right after the show goes off the air. I won't be doing it live. I will be doing it in video format, in audio. So you guys will catch that immediately after the show goes off the air. I will upload that on the channel. But this was a solid, good, entertaining main event between Andrade versus Pac. Pac ends up winning this match cleanly with a roll-up pinfall. Neither one of the two opponents managed to hit their finishing maneuver to close out the match. I guess they did that for a specific reason, not to copycat what WWE does, making the roll-up pin the finishing maneuver of all matches, but they used it more of a dramatical effect to surprise people in a matchup where these two guys are pretty much evenly matched. And the way this match went, they were back and forth, and anyone could have won this matchup. And I like the fact they cut all managers out of this matchup altogether. No one was allowed to be there at all. So I'm happy about that. We also had one little segment that took place on the show, and that was Pentagon Jr. showing up in the middle of the ring to get interviewed by Tony Schiavone about the situation with FTR taking the AAA tag team titles. At the end of this interview, which was very short, by the way, FTR attacked him and his manager from behind. There was two guys wearing a mask. They thought it was FTR posing as those two fellows from last week. Unfortunately, it was not them. They showed up from behind with Tully Blanchard, and they beat the shit out of Pentagon Jr. and his manager in this segment. This led to them holding the AEW tag team titles as well as the AAA tag team titles simultaneously, posing that they are going to win those AEW tag team titles and become a double tag team champions. If that's the case, I'm all for it, but I'd rather see it on the Lucha Brothers at this point. I think it's kind of cool that the AAA tag team titles are on FTR, giving them some kind of right to tag team gold. They definitely deserve it. I think they're a good tag team. I just think they're being overlooked because there's a lot of other good tag teams in this promotion. That's really all there is to it. What they were getting in WWE was just complete and utter disrespect. Here in AEW, there's a lot of good tag team wrestling that takes place in this division, so it's understandable why they're not being heavily pushed into the main portion of the tag team division. There's so many great tag teams in this division that it's hard to choose from, to be quite frank with you. On the other hand, in WWE, it's very easy to pick a tag team that deserves to be tag team champions. I mean, there ain't much to choose from anyway to begin with, number one. And number two, outside of the Usos and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And the Street Profits, there ain't a whole lot of anything to choose from the tag team wrestling portion of WWE. So, there you go. Anyway, let's move on here. The match that kickstarted this show, we're kind of going all over the place, but what the fuck, why not? We had Orange Cassidy go up against Will Hobbs in this first round World Championship tournament to crown a number one contender for the next challenger for the world title after the Kenny Omega and Hangman Page matchup that takes place at Full Gear. The finals will take place at Full Gear as well to determine that number one contender. So once the pay-per-view goes off the air, we will know a new number one contender as well as the champion at that point, whether it be Kenny Omega still champion or Hangman Page as the new world champion. So Will Hobbs actually loses this match by a trap pin. I guess or rat trap, some shit like that. I forgot how they called it. It's a modified roll-up pinfall that Orange Cassidy uses in a lot of his matches when he's in desperate situations just to walk away with a victory and be able to get a solid win here. But this really did not make a lot of sense. I don't know how the hell Will Hobbs could not kick out of this pinfall hold that Orange Cassidy uses. I could understand it working with a Chris Jericho. I could understand it working with a Ricky Starks. I mean, a lot of the normal-sized guys, it's believable to do that. But a guy like Will Hobbs, a Brian Cage, the big muscular guys like Wardlow, I mean, that makes them look very weak. This was a very weak situation that AEW chose to go with. I didn't really agree with it. I think Orange Cassidy should have just won with a Superman punch or possibly Will Hobbs could have gotten himself disqualified, which it looked like they were going to go with at this point during this matchup before the little roll-up pinfall that Orange Cassidy won the match by. But honestly, the way they had him win, I didn't particularly like it. Made Will Hobbs look weak. I'd have preferred him being just some musclehead idiot, getting himself disqualified and having Orange Cassidy move on to the next round. So that's just how I felt about that. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to discuss that at all. The other thing was Anna Jay going up against Britt Baker, DMD. This was an actual entertaining match. Britt Baker really knows how to tell a story with her cocky attitude, her facial expressions, and just interacting with the cameramen. I love how she winked at the cameraman several times as if she was just having a load of fun. That's what she seems to be doing in that ring now with this new gimmick and this personality she's developed. Beforehand, she was very kind of like, bland, nothing special about her. Very, annoying kind of attitude, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that's the best description to describe how she was. But she has developed this really cocky and cool attitude. And I actually really appreciate what she has to offer now with this gimmick that she's got as the DMD dentist, which she technically really is in real life. So I'm very satisfied with what they've done with her. No complaints here about that. And she ends up winning this match against Anna Jay with the jawbreak. I think it's called the jawbreaker or whatever. It's a submission hold, a lockjaw, excuse me. It's called the lockjaw. She went ahead and she applied the lockjaw on Anna Jay. Anna Jay tapped out from the unimaginable pain, which I honestly, let's get real, folks. If you really think about it, the lockjaw it's not exactly the most devastating fucking submission hold you can possibly think of. Because if you really want to get technical, she's sticking her fingers inside your mouth. Why wouldn't you bite down on her fucking fingers and try to bite them the hell off? I mean, come on, man. She's applying pressure down on your jaw. All you gotta do is bite down on those motherfucking fingers of hers, and she's gonna feel some fucking pain too. Let's get real here. But then again, you could say the same thing about the mandible claw. I guess you could say that. And there's a lot of people could have done that in the past, but they never did. So they submitted over to the hold, all that jazz. But hey, man, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to go on a complete, utter rant about it. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but there's a lot of other things you can rant about a wrestling show. But that maneuver is not one of them. But if you really want to get technical, you could bite down on the fucking Britt Baker's fingers, and she would be in severe pain anyway as well. So that's just my opinion on that, but nothing more on that subject at this point, since I've pretty much hit it on the head. But yeah, Anna Jay loses to Britt Baker. This eventually led to Britt Baker trying to apply the hold again, which she does, and Taya Conte shows up and saves the day, and she runs out of the ring. There was also mention about the TBS Women's Championship bout tournament taking place. That's a long stretched out one. It looks like there's going to be like about 10 different opponents taking place against each other. About 3 other women that are going to have a bye, because I believe they rank high into the Women's Championship division. So they're getting that bye and being able to move on to the second round without competing in the first round. So not a bad tournament. I didn't really get to see the names exactly, but we'll see how things go as the tournament goes on. I'm pretty certain they're going to do a good job with it and make it fun and entertaining. Maybe they could throw some stipulation matches as they move through the rounds, just to make it a little bit more interesting, I guess you could say. Maybe the finals, they could do it with a ladder match, trying to achieve the championship belt at the end of it. That would be kind of neat. I wouldn't have any issues with that idea. So if you want to throw stipulations in there with each round, I think that would be kind of cool. But for right now, since we're in the first 2 rounds, I'd maybe just do normal stipulation matches. And then once we get to the third and 4 or 5 rounds, depending on how many rounds it is, you start throwing the stipulations in there just to make it a little bit more interesting and juice things up a bit. But that's pretty much it, guys. At this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that, and I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night. I will speak to you again soon about SmackDown. I'm going to go ahead and watch SmackDown right now before I go to sleep and start my weekend off with a bang, with a lot of other different errands I got to do and all that jazz. But anyway, guys, you guys will get your SmackDown review before not Rampage, before Dynamite. It's all becoming all one and the same when it comes to AEW Rampage and Dynamite at this point. The only way you can distinguish between the two is the amount of time the show goes. So there you go, guys. Anyway, I thank you again for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon for SmackDown, and then you guys will get your Dynamite review at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Speak to you again, guys, and you have a great night. Bye.